Thank you all. We move on to the issue of transit and the preparation for the referendum next spring. And this is a three-part question which will first go to Kirk LaPointe. Are you prepared to, one, actively campaign and encourage your supporters to pass the transit referendum? Two, actively advocate for affordable transit in the region for everyone? And three, participate in at least 2 MVA forums on transportation issues before and after the referendum. Mr. LaPointe.
Yes, yes, and yes. We support a referendum question that is fair, clear, and realistic. We've not made enough progress on the public transit front in the last 6 years. But we need to consider one thing, the implications of redirecting carbon tax revenue, because under law, the carbon tax must be revenue neutral. And the biggest beneficiary of that revenue are lower income British Columbians. So we're penalizing lower income to take that revenue away. So I can't support redirecting funds from them for this transit plan. That's just not fair. I think we need a new idea, or we need a new law, one or the other, and we need to do it very quickly. But I will vigorously advocate for a referendum that puts forward a fair and realistic plan, and of course, I'll commit to work with MVA at its forums.
Thank you. And Gregor Robertson.
Thank you. Definitely yes on all three. Transit is enormously important to Vancouver. It's arguably the most critical issue we face over this next 6 months with respect to the referendum. So I've been a huge champion for transit, and that means better bus service across the whole region. We need a massive investment in more buses. We need the Broadway subway to be built for our east-west axis. We need to be sure that those pieces are supported in the referendum. We have to champion transit in the region and the referendum in particular. I must say I've been disappointed to not see a wholehearted, optimistic support from Mr. LaPointe and his party. We have to be champions for this. And that's going to be critical because we have support around the region, consensus of mayors around the region who are saying that we need more buses, we need Broadway subway, we need investment. We need that case made to the province and ensure that we win that referendum next spring.
Thank you. And thank you for observing the time limit, even though the clock was stuck and you thought you had another minute. Thank you very much. Ms. Wong.
I take public transit. I also drive, and I also ride an electric bike. So the best way to increase transit ridership, we believe, is to have a transit pass in everyone's hand. When they did in UBC, ridership went up 50% in the first year alone. What I want to do is to give U-Pass to Vancouver residents who want it. The program would be cost neutral, except for the opt-out subsidies that we will pay by rolling back Vision's tax cut to big corporations. At the same time, we need to increase transit services for the growing demand. COPE will fight for more services across the city, not just along Broadway. For $3 billion, we could add 400 new buses and light rails in every transit corridors all over Vancouver. Thank you.
And am I assuming, Ms. Wong, that that's a yes, yes, and yes?
Yes, yes, yes.
Good, thank you. And Adriane Carr.
Yes, 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 and yes. I do have a proviso. We have not seen the question yet on transit, so the question must be fair. It must be clear, and it must ask around preferences on how to pay for transit, not whether to pay for transit. I believe in plebiscite. Some of you have known my background in it. I was the head of the first plebiscite or referendum campaign for electoral reform, worked tirelessly on that. I believe in them. I put forward 2 motions for plebiscites this past term in council, one around cetaceans in captivity, and the second on giving people of the city a chance to vote on the Kinder Morgan situation. I was dismayed that my colleagues did not support that, and even one colleague from Vision saying that plebiscite would undermine democracy. That is not my belief. I will come to as many meetings as possible. Some of you who know me know I am. 3 seconds? Oh, sorry. That I go to as many meetings as I possibly can.
Thank you. And back to you, Joey.
Thank you. So a little variety in the answers there. Let's move on to the third issue, and as you can tell, they're going to get a little tougher. So.